government. Remember that this case has been going on for quite some time right now, where a lot of hearings have been taking place, back and forth hearings have been taking place, and in fact, the 51-year-old diamond merchant's defense team had claimed that the depression that Modi is having could worsen with his extradition. So a lot of things were happening. There was the defense team of Modi as well saying that if Modi if he's extradited, then things could go worse for him mentally. Lot of arguments in court. Let's go to Abhishek Kapoor right now, senior executive editor. Abhishek, this is a big win for India, a big victory, and Nirav Modi will be extradited. A lot of to and fro happened in the courts as well earlier.
The state of Damantar, Nirav Modi has in fact lost the appeal at the UK High Court. Remember, just yesterday we had Sanjay Bhandari's petition being rejected, and that he is to be extradited now. And now we are hearing that Nirav Modi, whose extradition is pending, in fact, and even the UK's foreign secretary had clearly allowed his extradition. This was about a couple of years back. Remember, Nirav Modi remains in jail, and he in UK, of course, and now at the second level of appeal, he has, I think, one more appeal left. Maybe Rhythm, if he joins, can tell us better. But as I understand it, there is one more level of appeal which goes to the House of Lords, I believe, is available to the fugitive of law. So far as India is concerned, he is accused in the PNB bank scam case. Both CBI and the ED after him. In fact, the Enforcement Directorate has confiscated around 39 properties of Nirav Modi, worth about 500 crore rupees. And he's also wanted, of course, in the Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, which is of 2018. So Nirav Modi there now, essentially doors closing on him. One more option of appeal available, but after which, obviously, since there is already a clearance from the UK Foreign Office, Nirav Modi would get extradited to India and would be subject to Indian laws and Indian due process of law as and when he comes. So there were issues which were raised by Nirav Modi's legal team about how his human rights would get impacted if he's in an Indian jail, to which videos were presented on of the jail cells under at the central prison in Mumbai, and where Nirav Modi would be kept with all the facilities. So I think a big development, big move, and of course a big victory for Indian agencies and the government of India to getting Nirav Modi extradited.
All right. Let's just go to Rhythm Bhardwaj. Let's go to Rhythm Bhardwaj, an executive editor, legal. Rhythm, this is a very big win. Nirav Modi to be extradited after a lot of to and fro, a lot of hearings in court. Please take our viewers through all the details.
Money laundering is what Nirav Modi had been wanted for. What a big victory for our agencies. What a big victory for the Narendra Modi government, viewers. Sanjay Bhandari a few days ago, and now the fugitive Nirav Modi, who had appealed in the High Court, loses his appeal before the High Court and is going to be extradited. What does this mean? The fugitive economic offender lost his appeal. It was on the basis of fraud and money laundering, and today is going to first be seen as a big victory for India. Why are we saying this? Because we've seen after Vijay Mallya, then we went across to Sanjay Bhandari, and today Nirav Modi. This is a succession of extradition that is coming through a fantastic diplomatic work by our government, including legal work, because let's face it, we were the only channel to have tracked Nirav Modi, whether it was when he was in Europe, whether it was Mehul Choksi. We were the only channel to first have interviewed him, who was also there, and there was also this entire case pending against him. But the focus today, I'm going to first talk about what the case against Nirav Modi was and why this is a big win. The High Court in London had heard the case of the Nirav Modi case for 3 long days. There was a lengthy exposition of the diplomatic assurances on mental health, indicated the court's judgment would be precedent setting. The focus had shifted from the actual case of fraud and money laundering to Nirav Modi saying whether his fragile mental health would be taken care of in India. There was also Helen Malcolm, who represented the Crown Prosecution Service, who remarked it's inconceivable that Nirav would have not stood trial in the UK based on this current situation, as both the sides had to convince the court on Modi's depression and how much he suffers. The arguments revolved around the theme of his mental health, and his fear of being killed are not true, which is what the Crown Prosecution. Let me first across to senior advocate KK Manan joining us on the phone line. Mr. Manan, diplomatically, legally, what a huge victory for India in the UK courts, because we tried to speak to Nirav, we spoke to his brother, we spoke to Mehul Choksi. They all try and run away by committing fraud in India, and one by one they're being brought back.
But I can say in one sentence, that is a big victory of the Indian government, Indian diplomacy, and moreover, Indian public. Indian democracy ultimately win in the another larger democracy in England. Ultimately, the public money may get back through when he will come to India.
Yes, and I also want to ask you, as one of the country's top law office, one of the country's top criminal lawyers, Mr. Manan, in the past we've seen a lot of people have been able to get away, but today Nirav also loses his appeal, clearly shows this government is going to get back these fraudsters.
You see that there is a difference between previous governments and the present government. Present government does not play loose in the court, whether in India or in abroad. Especially in extradition cases, you will find it another person that his relative will also come back, will be brought back in India, because our diplomacy and our top lawyers of the country who are pursuing the extradition matters in abroad, working diligently, hardworking, and the day is not far away when other person, Nirav Modi and Choksi, whatever Choksi, Nirav Modi and even Malia, all will be brought back, and you will find the day is not far away.
Yes, I also want to ask you one rather last question. All of them in the courts abroad, Mr. Manan, talk about depression, mental health. They also say Indian prison conditions are not good. But today it was a very proud moment for us when this hearing was going on in the UK court, and it's Lord Justice Stuart Smith who pointed out India is a friendly foreign power, numerous cases where people have been extradited. So to say that jail conditions are not good seems to be one of the basic things they say, and now it seems to be something that it's not going to hold true in UK courts.
They are not the VIPs, even whether VIP or a criminal, whatever, everybody, every citizen in India, whether outside the jail or inside the jail, or all are being treated equally. Even Indian jails are not, you can say, other people are not living here. Other prisoners are not living here. They are the special people sent by the God on the earth. And just they are playing ploy, nothing else. It will not work anymore now in abroad also.
Absolutely.
Even Mr. Malia also took.
Absolutely. I thank you, Mr. Manan, for being with us. Absolutely truthful, as you're saying. Viewers, I just want to go across and give you details of what's been happening in the case, and we'll also get you more reactions coming in on the case. But first, the rather ridiculous stance of Nirav Modi before the UK courts, where he said his mental fragile health will be tampered in India. And then we saw the advocate for the Crown Prosecution Service, that is Helen Malcolm, who appeared for the Indian side, which is for the CPS, and said it's inconceivable that Modi would not have stood trial in the UK on these situations. In fact, there were two possibilities that he says there's a fear of him being killed. But at both the doctors had stated, and everyone stated, that he can also be treated for depression in India. There was Edward Fitzgerald, who argued in Modi's defense, said there were chances his condition would deteriorate. The court also took into consideration and took that there were two psychiatrists also that the court heard their opinions, and Professor Fazal for the prosecution said he only has mild depression and expressed uncertainty. But these are details of today's order. I also want to go to the lower court, the UK court order, viewers, earlier, which had held him guilty for fraud. The PNB scam case, where it had actually been held guilty that his extradition should be there. Let me tell you what happened at that time. And a British court had reserved its judgment at the end of the hearing on whether there should okay, yes, I'm sorry, I'll just give you the details now. 51-year-old Nirav had told the court that he should not be extradited back in the 2 billion Punjab National Bank loan scam case. A 2-judge panel continued to hear arguments on his so-called high risk of suicide, but after hearing everything, the court said no, he has to, on money laundering charges and other charges, be brought back to India. These mental health and human rights grounds will no longer hold true. This is also happening after earlier the Westminster magistrate, he's been currently in Wandsworth prison in southwest London, and he says that he suffers from recurrent depressive disorder. Keeping all these things aside, the CPS said that the darling dweller with celebrities on his arm has very serious charges on him involving the PNB's missing billions. I want to tell our viewers, as we putting forward this story, trying to get reactions and trying to get people, as Nirav Modi loses appeal, this is a case which established how India was asking for its millions back. The PNB scam case was first highlighted right here on Republic TV, and we tried to show focus on the unfolding of this scam which shocked people. People's livelihoods was lost, and now we are being told by the UK court, the Lord Justice Jeremy Stuart Smith and Justice J, who presided over the appeal, have stated that he shall be extradited back. Now to be extradited back, 3-day long arguments. I'm also trying to look at how there was earlier a big win for India, and the London court had earlier ruled that it is in July 28th that on money laundering charges he has to be booked. In fact, there was also the 2 High Court appeals judges, Justice Stuart Smith and Justice J, who were hearing the matter. This is a dramatic case in which both the judges said we are very concerned over the delays in the case. Nirav Modi, viewers remember, was arrested on March 20th, 2019. He's been in judicial remand in Wandsworth prison for close to 3 years now, and well into being in his 4th year here. Now let me also tell our viewers that pressing ahead with the moves for an early ruling, the judges had now given out this order, and this is after 6 months from the hearing that came on 28th June, where the courts had stated that he has to be that there are 2 things that he's there for, that is money laundering and